And good morning. You are listening to the Dave Fox Home Remodeling Show. I'm Gary Demas, and Jamie's with me, and we're really glad to have you listening this morning. Here we are getting really close to the holidays, right, Jamie?
That's right. It's here.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
So are you all ready?
I am. I was actually really early this year on almost everything. I was so worried about shipping times.
Oh, yeah.
That I started ordering stuff before Thanksgiving.
You know, I think all the shipping people really have their act together by now because they've been shipping stuff fiercely since COVID started, right?
Yeah, I know. Gosh, I feel bad for them sometimes, the heavy boxes I make them bring up my driveway.
I know it. Yeah, I have a long upward scaling a mountain from the cul-de-sac up to my front door, and we feel sorry for anybody that has to bring a heavy box or anything up there. So my wife always shouts, thank you so much, or she'll have little treats or something for them if she catches them coming.
Yeah, I definitely, usually I always give a gift for like the postman, at the mailbox at the holidays, but it's hard with the like FedEx and UPS and Amazon because it's not the same person. True. Most of the time. So I feel funny giving a gift to one of them, at the front door, but I've seen other people set out like a box of treats that they could pick up, and I was like, oh, I should have done that.
Yeah, but thank goodness we have so many good delivery services available, right?
I know. Yep. I know. I don't know how we survived before Amazon.
Yep, exactly. Okay, so again, we welcome everyone listening to the Dave Fox Home Remodeling Show. We're here every Sunday morning at 8 o'clock. We just love doing this show, don't we, Jamie? And
absolutely.
Having a chance to chat with all the people in the Columbus area. And our topics are always centered somewhere around remodeling, right?
Yeah, within the realm of the home.
Yeah, the realm of the home. Yep, sometimes we even get talk about outdoor landscaping. But mostly the realm of the home. Could be anything from lighting to flooring to design to colors and textures, structural issues. Greg and I did
projects we're working on.
Yeah, projects we're working on. A while back, Greg and I did a series on the home. We started with the foundation, worked all the way up through the floor system, walls, ceilings, roofs, structures, windows, the whole gamut. And all that stuff is available to anyone that wants to see it, right, Jamie?
That's right. So, well, at least listen to it. We haven't always videotaped them.
That's true. So how are they going to find it?
DaveFoxRadio.com.
Exactly. So there they can see all the previously broadcast, they can listen to all the previously broadcast radio broadcasts. And we do have some available on video, like this one we're doing right now will be on
That's right.
Available on video. Last week's was.
Yeah.
And last week's was a good one. We were talking about all of the Contractor of the Year awards presented through NARI. So if any of you listening now missed that show, you can go to DaveFoxRadio.com. You can listen to it or you can see it on video. And on video, Jamie, you had a lot of the pictures of the winning projects that we submitted.
Yeah, we were able to share our screen and take a look at some of those projects, and show you the full presentation of them, which was fun.
Exactly. So if you're interested in seeing some winning projects from 2020 Contractor of the Year awards, you can go to DaveFoxRadio.com, and there you can watch that video. So today, Jamie, here we are right at the threshold of Christmas and Hanukkah or whatever celebration people are doing. And whenever these times come, we're always thinking about family, getting together. Maybe some people will be Zooming this year for their family tradition. Others will gather in smaller crowds. I know we're going to my daughter's house with all the grandkids, doing Christmas there.
Yeah.
So whenever you're thinking about people in the home, you're thinking about your home, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the holidays are a big part of our homes, going to homes, being in each other's homes. And even with this year being different, it's just one year out of so many. But almost all of our remodels in some capacity, the word holiday comes up.
Yeah, that's true. Because that's when we're thinking about having people in our home, and obviously we're concerned about how the home looks. And my wife is probably the most concerned person on earth, I think.
I don't know.
I always feel like, oh, just let people come over. It doesn't matter what the house looks like. And she does not think that way at all. And it's kind of funny.
I think you're the odd one out there, Gary.
Oh,
More people care than not.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's not the first time that I've been called the odd one, so I'm okay with that. But I've people that have listened a long time have listened to me talk about the different projects I've done in my own home, which I love doing. I just love working with my hands. Love remodeling. And it's funny because every time I start a project, I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to just be patient. I'm going to take my time. I'm in no hurry. Get started and not get all, because I'm a very project-oriented person. So I keep telling myself I'm going to stay calm, just take my time, do it. So I get started that way, and then towards the end of the project, I'm like a frantic, busy bee, just like, I can't wait to get this done. And that's exactly where I'm at right now with our powder room, because that is the room that my wife wanted done before we really had company come.
So now the clock's ticking.
The clock is ticking, but once that's done, then she'll feel like she can invite people over and enjoy the fellowship. So not that we haven't had anybody over, but she'll open the floodgates a little more now.
There you go.
So Andrea, one of our interior designers, did a great job designing our powder room. It's just really cool. She had me move the toilet and vanity, which was a lot of extra work, but hey, it's paying off. It's worth it. And all the finishes and everything that she picked out is just stunning, and it's coming together. So this week, I'm getting it wrapped up. So
all right, I'm going to hold you to that.
The other night, my wife got these stress-relieving oils that she rubbed on my forehead, and she just wanted me to get a good night's rest that night because she knew that I was a little too hyper. And it worked. I think it worked.
There you go. I sleep with lavender oils on every night.
Really?
Yeah. I put them behind my ear and on my wrists and then the bottoms of my feet.
And that makes you sleep better?
It just calms you.
Oh, okay.
It really does make a difference. Actually, when I first started doing it, I would have these crazy dreams whenever I put the oils on, and then I adjusted to them a little bit, but I definitely sleep deeper.
So are you dreaming about crazy dreams like remodeling projects that went awry, or?
Remodeling's always on my mind.
Okay. That's the curse of being in the remodeling business. You're always thinking about it.
Yeah.
But so let's get back to our topic here. Sorry, I got us off track. Holidays and our homes. And that is, as you mentioned, Jamie, it's like when you talk about having people over, it's usually centered around holidays. And that's when people are thinking really about their home, how presentable is it? You know, when you get used to living in a place day after day after day, things don't become apparent to you that maybe could be improved until you either visit someone else's house and see what they did, or you're thinking about having people over, and then you're kind of looking at your home through a different set of eyes. You're thinking, okay, what is John or Judy going to think about this? And then it kind of motivates people to get things shaped up in their home.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, so much of how we decorate and doing things that we do is for when someone comes over, and kind of that gratification that you get. It's, your home there's a lot of pride in a home, not only owning a home, but any place you call home, even if you don't own it, there's just so much pride and comfort in that space. And it just holds a lot of meaning and a lot of value, especially, in times like this where you're stuck inside of them all the time.
Yeah, which has really, we were just talking in a meeting a little while ago about the leads that we've gotten this year, and people are really interested in remodeling projects and how the percentage has really spiked up because everybody's in their home and they're thinking about it more. So that's what we're talking about today, folks. We are going to talk about homes and remodeling and some of the rooms that people remodel, and when thinking about having family over or larger groups of people. So we've got a lot of different specific cases to talk about, and we're going to bring that to you here in just a few minutes. So we'll be right back. And we're back with the Dave Fox Home Remodeling Show, and Gary and Jamie are here. And Jamie, we're talking about holidays and remodeling, right?
That's right.
Not necessarily remodeling during the holiday, but getting ready for
Sometimes
holidays.
we do.
Yes, sometimes we do, and that's when you're going to Christmas to your friend's house or your brothers or sisters or moms or dads.
Yeah. Or, a lot of our clients too are fortunate enough to have a second home in Florida or somewhere with a little bit better climate. And they're not here at all for the winter, which makes it a great time to remodel.
Yeah. And as I think back through all the different years that we've been in business and many of the different clients that I've been in contact with and have worked through holiday scenarios and just really living life in their home, it's interesting how different projects, how they will affect entertaining or having, larger groups of family or friends over, and the changes that have been made in lives, that we've been a privilege or had a privilege to be a part of. And I'm thinking, Jamie, of one, a kitchen project that we did, and it was for a family in Clintonville. And the houses in Clintonville are not very large. Well, this happened to be on a lot where an old home was tore down and then a newer home was built, but it was very small. And this family, our clients had a large family, and there was just really no room for them to bring the family in the home. And they regretted that so much. It's just like they love family, they liked family time. They wanted to be able to bring family over. So they finally decided to do a significant amount of remodeling on this home. And as I say, it was a small home. The kitchen was very small, and there was really no family room space at all. So what we did is we moved the back wall of the home out 8 feet. We just bumped it out and added 8 feet across the back of the home. It's kind of a rectangular shaped home, one floor plan. So that almost doubled the size of the kitchen, and then created the space for us to build a fair, a modest-sized family room, not real large, but at least a family room. And that kitchen, just doubling the size of that, just impacted that home in ways you just can't imagine. And these people were artsy. The woman was, she was an artist, and so she had a lot of ideas in the design, and she wanted a lot of glass windows in her cabinets in the kitchen because she wanted to be able to display stuff. But as we built this and added on and just watched this couple, they just lit up, as we got towards the end of that project. And once we were finished, they were just so ecstatic and so excited. And I just will never forget them saying that for so long, we've wanted to have our family over, and now we're able to do that. And it was just a life changer for them. And I'll never forget that. It was really fun.
I mean, that's right there in a nutshell why we do what we do. Is for that reaction that's our best reward at the end, right?
Exactly. So, it does take a significant investment. Obviously, any kind of remodeling, it's not inexpensive. And if you're building a new home, I suggest do it all while you're doing that, because it's never going to be cheaper.
So true.
Yeah. If you want your basement finished, do it while you're building your home. It's going to be way less than going in later and remodeling.
Oh, I know. We built our house about 9 years ago, and we had always kind of intended on probably having 3 kids. At the time when we built it, we didn't have any kids, but we thought we would probably have 3 kids. And I shared a bathroom with my sister growing up. And oh my gosh, the fights we had in that bathroom, you would not believe. So I was like, I really want more than one bathroom for the kids. I hated sharing a bathroom with her. And so we wanted to add another bathroom, and there were 2 bedrooms with 2 walk-in closets. I was like, kids really don't need walk-in closets. Let's see if we can put a bathroom in there. And I remember to add the bathroom at the time of building, it was like $3,000. I was like, where else can we add a bathroom?
Yeah, no kidding.
It's so funny. But I was like, can you imagine the remodel costs versus that? That'd be crazy. So
yeah. Well, the efficiency is just working for you when building from a new home. Everything is different.
You don't have to, there's no trying to maneuver any pipes through anything already existing. Right. You just put it in when it's convenient.
Right. But fortunately for us, there's a whole bunch of remodeling inventory in the Columbus area. There's a lot of homes that are older or floor plans that don't work, and people are living in homes that they really don't want to leave. They like their neighborhood, they like their neighbors. And there's a lot of reasons why it makes sense to really just change your home and make it suit your current lifestyle and your current needs. So do you have any projects off the top of your mind, Jamie, of situations where we've really made a substantial change in somebody's ability to entertain?
Well, yeah, I mean, I can think of so many. I mean, a lot revolves around the size of the table and how many people they can fit around their table. And, you know, with the day and age of a formal dining room kind of escaping us, the dinette has become a really big part of a kitchen and kind of how we can maneuver a table. If I get an expandable table, things like that, which way can I turn it? How can I rotate it? And so I think it's interesting because the dinette is somewhat of a second thought, but then when you start really thinking about how you live in those holidays and having people over, and you want to be able to fit as many people as possible around your table. I know, you know, a lot of people think of Thanksgiving and there's usually an adult's table and a kid's table. I'm one that I need everybody at the table. So I have, I don't care how many people I have, they need to all be at one table. So I need enough space to do that. And, you know, there's just always those accommodations. There was a home in Powell that we did a large addition on the back, and they had an existing pool. So we had to kind of do the addition around the pool so that they didn't have to mess with the pool. And they gave up their formal dining room and living room for an in-law suite. But they didn't want to get rid of, they still wanted space for holidays and things like that. So we actually ended up kind of moving their floor plan backwards to accommodate a large dinette. And the dinette was completely open to the family room. So that way at the holidays, they could just expand that table as far as they ever needed to go for family. Yeah,
I'm thinking of a kitchen project that we did for a couple, and they had the same scenario, just not enough room, and they loved to entertain. They loved to have family over and friends. And they wanted, I think, the island that seated the most people I've ever seen before. And I think they had 10. They wanted an island that would seat 10 people.
Wow.
And that was huge. So obviously that played a big role in just how the whole kitchen was laid out and the space that we used. And fortunately, the room size was big enough. There was a dinette off the kitchen. And we created the world's largest island in seating space. But that's exactly what they wanted, because they wanted people to be in the kitchen. That's where everyone lives. That's the new living room, you know, in homes. And this island was really large. It was specifically suited to this family and what their needs were. And I suppose if someone was really strapped wrestling with the idea of resale value, which some people do, you know, they don't want to do anything that would affect resale value, and I can understand that. These people weren't concerned at all about that. They wanted this house to suit their needs, and they were so excited. And I remember when we wrapped up, you know how we always have this final meeting where the design consultant, the interior designer, the project manager come and meet with the clients and just look the job over and sign the final paperwork and just make sure everything's good. And we give them their warranty book then. But they had a nice little treat prepared for us, because you could tell that they just loved entertaining. So they had some real nice treats and drinks for us, and all spread out really nice and well done. And that just really sticks in my mind. It just kind of nailed home the fact that this is who they are. They love having people over and having a space for them to work in. So that's what we're talking about today, is really, you know, entertaining or remodeling for the holidays, and really preparing your home so that you can entertain effectively and that you can be really proud of your home and proud of all the remodeling work that was done. So we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Dave Fox Home Remodeling Show. I'm Gary Demas, and I'm here with Jamie Braslovsky, and we are talking about remodeling homes and getting ready for holiday entertaining. And that's right where we're at. That's at our threshold right now, Jamie.
Yeah,
Christmas
we are
is
here,
just right around the corner, and people today who have recently remodeled, or maybe they built a new home and they're just so excited about it. They've got a great space to entertain and to make people feel comfortable. They're sure excited, aren't they, about having some family members over, or even if they have to Zoom, they're Zooming their new or their nice kitchen, and who knows.
Yeah,
what.
picking out their background.
So we're talking about that today, really, the remodeling that people do to prepare for holidays, people that love to just enjoy people. And believe it or not, folks, we're going to be back to those days, right? Right now, we're just...
Absolutely.
Yeah. We're living through the current circumstances as best we can, but these are not going to be with us forever.
No. I think it'll be interesting to see if it's a gradual transition back, or if it's, once there's a certain point of people that have been vaccinated and we feel like we can really get out there again. It'll be interesting how that kind of transition goes.
Yeah, it's we're living through something we've never lived through before, at least in our lifetimes.
Yeah,
so
that transition back can't come soon enough in my eyes. Yes, I'm dying.
I agree. Okay, so Jamie, let's say you're Mrs. Homeowner, and let's say that you feel like you don't need to, but let's say you needed to remodel your kitchen, or you needed to do something to get ready to entertain effectively and comfortably. What are some of the things that would come to your mind?
Well, there's a few things. One is being able to accommodate, depending on how many people, how much food I would need to cook. So is that double ovens? Is it a steam oven? And then, all the capabilities that go along with that. And then also washing all the dishes, where the dirty sink, where's the dirty dishes going to go? Don't necessarily want everyone seeing them, things like that. And then also like I know we host Friendsgiving at my house with all of our friends, and we always make a huge turkey because there's usually about 25 people. And I have this huge platter that I always have to keep in the basement under all this stuff. And every year I have to get it out. And I'm like, gosh, this is such a pain. I just wish it were in the kitchen. So space for that kind of stuff in an ideal world, all the serving platters and the crock pots and all that kind of stuff that I keep in my basement because I don't have room. Exactly. It would be nice to have in my kitchen.
Yeah. When you mentioned the ovens, my wife, really, I think almost every home that we've lived in, it's been important to her to have multiple oven capacity, because she loves to cook. We like to have people over, and she puts all the ovens to use. And right now we've got a convection oven, a micro convection oven, and a steam oven. So she has 3 options. Wow. And she makes good use of those. Obviously, when you're preparing a lot of food, having a lot of people over, you're maybe cooking multiple things in ovens, or maybe you're keeping something warm, or just having that flexibility is really helpful. So when people are remodeling for holidays, often they're thinking about oven space and appliances and their ability to cook, like you mentioned, larger amounts of food.
Yeah, absolutely. And then I think too, there's the other aspects of entertaining. My husband is extremely into coffee and bourbon, are kind of his vices in this world of beverages, and loves having people over to try and they'll do little samplings of the bourbon. He loves making people coffee. He always does pour over style coffee, which is an art form in its own, but he loves it. Can't have enough of it. So having a space for him and his stuff, if you're watching us here on Zoom, you can see that he took over my formal dining room and turned it into a bourbon lounge. There wasn't as much conversation in that as I would have liked, but here we are. So, that's a big part of our life, or, through him and how he likes to entertain, because he can't cook to save his life. So that's kind of what he brings to the table, is the drinks. And having a space out of my kitchen for him to do that and share that with people would be really wonderful too. Yeah. We did a kitchen recently that they bumped out their kitchen into their dining room, kind of expanded it to make a bigger kitchen. But the back wall of their home, where the kitchen and dining room was not flush. So it kind of created this awkward little notch, I guess, so to speak, in their new kitchen space. And the designers had this really creative use for the space, making it a little beverage center. And it's just this little nook off their kitchen. And I showed my husband when we finished that project, because I was like, that would work perfectly for us. I mean, that is my dream kitchen. I should write them a little note, just in case you ever feel like moving. Call me.
In kitchen design, if people are wrestling with maybe too small of a space, or the traffic flow is kind of congested, or they don't have space for different things like you're mentioning, it's amazing how adding 2 or 3 feet onto a kitchen can absolutely revolutionize the floor plan. I can think of several projects where, especially if you maybe have an existing peninsula plan or just a U-shaped kitchen, and there's really not enough room to put an island. If you add 2 or 3 feet, a lot of times that'll create the space you need to put an island, which opens up the traffic flow incredibly and adds so much more counter space and so much more versatility in your ability to place appliances, cooktops, sinks, ovens. So, people who may be feeling like their kitchen is just too small and they want to move or they want to do this or do that, a lot of times if you have a good designer come out and just look at it and tell them what your needs are, some homeowners are really good at figuring out solutions. Others just know what's wrong and they don't know how to figure it out. And in either scenario, a lot of our designers will come and talk to them and find out what their needs are, and if they want to entertain or have an area that's nicer for holiday entertaining, that's part of the process in the design. And we'll work through those issues and come up with clever ideas of how to just maximize the usable space. Design is always kind of a compromise when you're working with an existing structure, because we want to do it as efficiently as possible and make use of everything that's there now, the walls, the location of windows and doors. But sometimes moving a few of those or adding 2 or 3 feet will just revolutionize the floor plan, and people will see those plans and their jaw will drop. They'll think that never could have happened in their home.
Yeah, I know. We get that comment all the time when we're working at trade shows and we have our pictures up of our projects, completed projects and things like that. And I mean, every other person will walk by and be like, "Oh, I don't have a kitchen like that." It's like, well, you're not supposed to yet. That's what you need us for. But they think they couldn't possibly have that in their home, and then we show them both the before picture, and they're like, "Wait a minute." Yeah. And even one of the projects we went over last week, that was one of the Cody winning projects, and we only added 80 square feet, but their kitchen size is 3.5 times the size. It's just amazing what you can do reworking the floor plan to accommodate just more like benefit to your lifestyle.
Yeah. And that reminds me of the powder room that I just finished, or it's not totally finished, almost done this week in my home. And in entertaining, that was important to my wife, to have the powder room done nicely. So the way it was is the powder room is kind of right off of the family room and kitchen. And when the doors open, you're staring at a toilet. Even though it was down the hall, that's what you saw. So Andrea, our designer, wanted that moved, and she wanted a really nice furniture-looking vanity there with a really nice mirror and nice lighting, so that when that door's open, that's what you saw. And wow, what a change that made. And we didn't have to add any space or anything. It was just rearranging some of the fixtures, and then of course her beautiful touch on colors and textures and finishes. Now when you just glance down there, it's like very impressive instead of staring at a toilet. So design is so important, especially once we do things for other people to see, we love it too. So we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. And we're glad all of you are here at the Dave Fox Home Remodeling Show. We love you listening in and listening to Jamie and I chat about remodeling and projects and design and awards and you name it. Right, Jamie?
Absolutely.
Yep. Remodeling is fun. Everything is always new and different. That's what I love about it.
That is very true. There are no two projects and no 2 days that are the same when you're in the remodeling industry.
Yeah. And we work with a variety of clients, so we get to meet a lot of different people and just go through a lot of experiences together and look at their issues and their problems with their homes, and work hard to solve those issues through our design. And then we get to build it and put it all together, and then they get to enjoy it. And that's really the big reward of this business.
Yes, definitely. The stories behind, all of our pictures and our completed projects are so fun to go through and talk about. And I always love when I get to work on the Cody projects and learn about all the details of all these different projects. You know, I see all the pictures, obviously, but to learn the nitty gritty details around why they did things a certain way is so fun and interesting.
So as we're talking about remodeling for entertaining and for holidays, sometimes we have guests come from out of town, right?
Yeah.
So we've had a number of people prepare nice guest rooms or maybe nice spaces in the basement, some entertaining spaces and bed space. Of course, in the basement, you always have to have the egress windows and all that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I would say it's a huge factor when finishing a basement, especially. Is usually that conversation of the holidays, and you know, Aunt Sue comes and stays with us every year, or whoever. I know for us, we don't have any family in Columbus, so we're always having people come stay with us. And it makes you feel so good to have a space that someone can come and feel very comfortable in and feel at home. And it's really nice to have, you know, with us, we're out of bedrooms in our house and we don't have a finished basement. So anytime my parents or in-laws come and stay with us, we have to kind of play musical rooms. And the kids all move out of their rooms or whatever the case is. And my parents always feel guilty. And I hate that. So I'm like, one day we're going to finish our basement and we're putting a really nice guest room down there for them.
Yeah. As you mentioned, it's nice. It's important for your guests to feel comfortable. And I think part of that is definitely having a nice sleeping space and a nice bathroom that's their area. And in the last home we were living in, I created a space like that in our basement because really I wanted our girls to come home with their families and have a comfortable space to be and to live and feel comfortable in. So it's so nice to have that kind of a space where you've got sleeping area, maybe a little lounge area, and a nice bathroom that's just their space.
Yeah. And, you know, it's so funny because like I said earlier, I mean, nearly every project we do in some capacity, the holidays come up because there's such special times that even though they're just little times of the year, they mean so much to us. And I think we're learning that even more this year. Well, it's being taken from us in some capacity, but you know, they're so meaningful. And you think back to your childhood and you always think of the holidays and staying with so-and-so or having sleepovers with cousins and things. And so even if it's, you know, a guest bathroom, a guest bedroom, the kitchen remodel to accommodate all the cooking needs, or even a sunroom addition or things like that, those all get enjoyed even more over the holidays. And then there's also the added, you know, working around the holidays that we always have to deal with too. But they're just such a special time that, you know, we get a lot of messages from clients around this time of year that they're just so grateful for their new space and look forward to all the memories.
Very rewarding. And right now we're right up against Christmas here and then New Year's. And it's too late to get it remodeled for this year, but it's a really good time to be thinking about next year. Really, the timing is about perfect. Because if you, people need to anticipate a design time. And there's really kind of two different phases of design, because number one is the client needs to have lived in a situation long enough to really know what the struggles are with what their home layout is. When someone just moves right into a home and is ready to remodel, we're always really cautious, because a lot of times, ideally, if someone's lived in a home for a year, then they've worked through those issues and they know what doesn't work with the home. They've been living in it long enough, they've lived with their family, they've had people over, and they can tell you exactly what's wrong with the floor plan. If you just move into a home, you can kind of guess or sometimes you'll know exactly what you don't like, but in terms of really having a good thought out plan of the issues that are affecting your lifestyle and your family's lifestyle in that home, it takes a while for that to develop. So that's kind of the first phase of design, isn't it? Just people living in a home and really being able to pin down exactly what's wrong with it.
Yeah, well, and like even figuring out your routine within your home, I think makes a big difference. One thing I always think about is when, as I mentioned, we built our house 9 years ago, and we had talked about, light switches and where they would go and things like that. I'm like, I don't know, there and there, that works, And now in hindsight, I'm like, gosh, that is just not, I always have to walk out of my way to turn on the kitchen light. It would just be so much more convenient if I put it on a different wall. And just things like that of like now living in this home, I know my routine, I know my walk patterns every single day. And I would have so much more insight of where I would put light switches or outlets, again, as another one they're not in the right spot.
They always
or
put
there's
them
one
right where you would put furniture so that you can't get to it, right?
Yeah, seriously. Or in our kitchen, there's like one that we use for everything. So we blow that circuit all the time, like every day.
Yeah.
So just things like that we've, come to learn over the years and with our routines and the way we live, we know now in hindsight, of course, what we would have done if with remodeling, if you have that insight going into it, your chances for creating a space that is just so seamless to the way you live is, honestly, to me, it's the coolest part of the remodeling. The kitchens are beautiful, don't get me wrong, but how we can accommodate them to the precise way that people live in their home is so cool.
Yeah. So phase one
yeah.
is on our listeners. You need to be thinking about your home and living in it long enough to really identify the problems. And then once you're at that point, then when one of our designers comes out and chats with you, of course, our designers are very experienced at talking to people, questioning them, really kind of rooting out all of the issues that they've run into. And then they can add their expertise to what our clients have shared with them and come up with these amazing plans that they come up with.
Yeah, it's always an exciting time of year. And I think after the holidays, we tend to get a few more phone calls because they realize that didn't work. If we're going to host again, we better.
Yeah. So we were talking about timing, and now is a great time to really be thinking about, what's going to happen next year, because next year, if you want to be ready to entertain and enjoy some more freedoms that we don't have now, hopefully, we will be able to move forward with your design, and our experts will chat with you and find out what you want to accomplish, and they'll go from there. So Jamie, are you able to hear?
Yeah, I can hear you
okay
now.
Okay.
Cut out there for a second. My earbuds died.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it'll be an exciting 2021. Can't wait to host people again.
Exactly. So we really appreciate everybody tuning into the Dave Fox Home Remodeling Show. We've been here over 8 years, and every Sunday morning at 8 o'clock, we have a lot of radio shows recorded, a lot of different topics that we've covered, everything from anything you can imagine in the home to even outdoors and landscaping. So those are all available at davefoxradio.com. And, of course, our main website is davefox.com. There we have tons of pictures of projects that we've done, and it's a great reference for anyone thinking about remodeling. So we appreciate all of you tuning in. We hope you have a very, very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. We will look forward to being with you in 2021.